Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. As always, Scott Carson, excited to be here with you this morning. And on today's episode, I thought I'd do a little bit of a preview of kind of what I'm going to be covering here this week, actually at the Quest Trust Company's $1 trillion investment mixer. I'm excited to be speaking there. Quest Trust is one of our sponsors of the show, so we're always excited to be doing something with Quest Trust Company. We're a big believer in what they're doing. So, like I said, they have their usual once a month. Each of their offices has a $1 trillion investment mixer, which they'll have a subject. It's a networking event, whether it's in Dallas, Houston, or Austin. Me being in Austin, I'm honored to be speaking here at the Austin office. I've spoken at the Houston one. I've not spoken to the Dallas office yet, but there's talk about me coming up there and doing it as well. But my topic, I didn't want to talk just basically kind of about notes 101, your non-performing notes, because I've done that a variety of times. I mean, I'll talk a little bit briefly about it in my presentation, but my topic is more so about how to do due diligence on assets that are outside of your own backyard. And living here in Austin, Texas, it's a great market. You know, don't get me wrong, I love this area, but it's also a very popular market. I think it's also kind of overpriced quite a bit, especially for real estate investors, if it's a tougher market. And so people are having to look to do deals outside of their own backyard. And I thought, well, why not talk about that a little bit to, provide some content to kind of share some nuggets. Because it's one of the things when I talk to people, when I have investors that call me from across the country or call and ask questions, how'd you do this or how'd you do that? I think so many people get scared of something that they can't actually go out and touch and feel. And it's kind of I get that. I can understand that, especially when you're a new real estate investor, you're kind of stressed to pull the trigger on something that's 100 miles away, let alone 1,000 miles away, whether you're buying in Florida and you're living in Texas or you're living in California or wherever. And so I can understand that, that mentality of being nervous, being scared. And so one of the things I think you have to get over is just it becomes a matter of identifying and building teams in different parts of the country to help you with your due diligence. It's important to keep in mind that the same professionals that live in your area also live across the country in those cities and states. All right. And so I think a lot of people have a hard time doing that because they're like, oh, so-and-so, they're not gonna do as good a job as me. Well, yeah, they may not do as good a job as you initially because you're there, you're gonna look at some specific things. But if you mitigate your risk, you mitigate what you're looking at, you mitigate kind of, instead of trying to be a jack of all trades and you're focused on specific things, you can really kind of identify some great deals along with identifying some nuggets that maybe other people would miss. And so what I thought I'd do is talk about that today on this episode. And so if you're listening to this, you're probably going to want to pull out a piece of paper and a pen, something to write down, because I'm going to give you some nuggets I think you're really going to enjoy out there. Things that we use on a regular basis. All right. Very, very regular basis that I think is very valuable to getting things done in this business. Now, what I want you guys to focus on is I want you to get out of the fact and get out of the mental aspect of, oh my God, it's so far away. Look, everything is pretty close these days with the help of the internet and some of those tools out there. There's a lot of ways to be able to do due diligence on a property or a borrower or a city as well. All right. So that you can actually identify some great opportunities. And with the use of the internet, there's so many great websites that go to help you out with the different things as well. So one of the first things that I like to use first and foremost, and I guess we'll just start here, is when I'm looking at assets, when I get in a tape of assets, or I'm looking about purchasing a portfolio of assets, one of the first things I like to go and do is, it's one thing that I recommend to everybody. If I'm going to invest in an area, I want to see if there's a real estate investment club in that neck of the woods. Now, one of the easiest ways to look is you can go to reiclub.com and look there. You can go to the National REIA group as well too, but I like going to meetup.com for a variety of reasons. Okay. Meetup.com, it's free, allows for you to see how close an asset, how many, if you type if you go to meetup.com, type in the city, all right, and then it allows for you to be able to see how many real estate clubs are in an area, really kind of how many investors are in an area for the most part. So those are some important things to look at right off the bat is, is there active real estate clubs, and how many members are there? And is the club meeting on a regular basis? Now in Austin, there's a lot of clubs. We have a lot of clubs all over Austin because it's a pretty good sized city. Now, the thing to look at, keep in mind here, is if there are no clubs in your neck of the woods, that's probably not a good sign. Doesn't mean there's not investors, but there's probably a bigger city nearby, or there's probably a bigger metroplex that's really drawing. Like Dallas has a ton of investment clubs. Okay. You see a lot of investment clubs. You see in a major metroplex where there's a pro sports team. Okay. They're going to have enough people there. Now, the idea is, how do you find those people? Well, I'm a big advocate of just jumping on and looking to see what's available. All right. Now, if you go to meet up immediately, you're going to see a search box that says within, say, 50 miles of Austin, Texas. So let's say I'm looking at something in, say, Kalamazoo, Michigan. All right. And I'm going to look, it's going to give me either an opportunity for groups or calendars that are meeting. I'm going to also type in, once I've narrowed the city down to, say, Kalamazoo, I'll type in real estate and just type in real estate and then hit the search button, a little magnifying glass that you'll see. And then I can click over and hit the calendar. Then I'll hit the groups. Now it allows then to hit also below that. It gives me a bunch of groups that pop up here. Okay. Now it says I can either pick recommended. I can pick by most active, newest, most members. So I like to look at the most active groups because that's a good sign. All right. Now it shows me that there's the Grand Rapids Note Closers, which is actually a group that we put together. There's also the Michigan Epic REI Network, which has 476 members. There's a Property Crawl with 43 members. But more importantly, I see a Kalamazoo real estate meetup with 495 investors. And I like that one. I'm going to click on that one. Now, very easy to join this group. It's organized by Ramon. I could send a message directly, Ramon. If I'm looking for, same thing, monthly meetup at Kalamazoo Panera. It's going to happen Tuesday, April 2nd, 7 p.m. That's awesome. It tells me when they're going to meet. So if I was going to be going to an area to do my own due diligence, I would try to identify when real estate clubs are meeting in that area and try to organize my calendar around that calendar so I can go immediately and meet with people in the neck of the woods. Now, if I can't meet with people directly or I have a time where there's not a club meeting, then what am I going to do? I'm going to go join this group. Just free to do. I'm just going to join this group. And then I would send whatever I'm looking for to Ramon. I would send a message to Ramon. Hey, I'm looking at a property in this neck of the woods, or I'm looking at buying. Do you have a great realtor? Do you have a great rehab crew? I would literally go directly to the source, Ramon, and inquire about that, what I was looking for. Of course, I would also, the beautiful thing about meetup groups is they've got events, they've got members, they got photos, they have discussions. But then if you click on the More tab, they also, what pops up a lot of times is the ability that a lot of the organizers will allow for there to be an active message board. And in this one, there is an active message board where people are posting, okay, which is good. A variety of different people are using it, which is great. Like Karen Vogelman or Mark McWiggins are the two that are posting there. Must be co-organizer. All right, which is great. I can start a new discussion, which is awesome. Let's see if it allows me to send it now that I'm a member. Now, this club does not have an active mailing list, a mailing list archive. It does not allow you to send out to their mailing list, which is okay. It's fine. But if I go post the message board, let's see if it allows me to post a new discussion there. It does. So I can post a discussion that will go out to all 496 members of the group. Say, hey, I've got a deal I'm looking for, or I've got a couple of notes I'm looking to sell, whatever it is, I'm looking for a realtor, or here's a couple properties that I'm looking at for some help at. I can post that to the discussion board and submit it, and as long as it's not salesy, it'll go out directly to the 495 members, which is phenomenal, right? I mean, it's a great place to kind of start building your team. That's a local real estate club. All right. That's a good one. All right. That's one of the great things as well, therefore, is Meetup is a phenomenal place to go on there now. It's also a great place to move deals. I think if you go to the different groups, I think if you're going to be investing in a couple outside markets, you probably want to go join a couple of the Meetup groups just because it's the networking thing. It's really kind of the hub that goes around that neck of the woods. You know, I would pose a question. I'm looking for a good title, a good realtor. and a good general contractor in an area. Those are some important things to look at. Okay. And also, hey, who's got any local hard money lender local there in Kalamazoo? Because those are going to be really pretty much the big four aspects of things. Yes, you can find an inspector. Yes, you can find an appraiser. That's not a big deal, but those are the biggest things: your realtor, your title company, and then you're either finance or hard money lender. Now, the fact that you're local there on the Facebook group, you could probably raise some capital too for doing that. So how are you going to pull due diligence? Well, I'm looking for the realtor then to do the drive-by and the CMA. And now we all know jumping on Zillow, Trulia is what a lot of people do to get an idea for value, but we know that can be way off. You always want to have eyes looking at the asset that are pulling values. Now, some people will pay, you'll jump on a website called NARPR, which I like. It's basically pulling an online valuation. It's like an AVM, online automated valuation model, kind of like if you're a licensed realtor and you have your NAR and National Association of Realtors information, you can log in, create a password for this. This is free for realtors, and it gives you the ability to pull some information on assets across the country. I like this as a great online valuation. It's not my hard, fast, in-person valuation. It's not going to replace a BPO. It's not going to replace a local agent driving by, but at least you have some sort of valuation. You can see what's going on in the market, days on market, average values, what kind of the numbers would look like for the most part if it made sense and it's in decent shape. Okay. Now, one of the things that's really nice as well too for a lot of people, okay, besides using Meetup, besides using NARRPR, one of the things that I will look at for the most part too, that I like to take a look at is we like to use a service called notepros.com. Okay. Notepros.com is like $29 a month. I can log into it, and that's notepros, PROZ.com. And what we use this for is a lot of good online stuff. Especially, it really pulls everything into one spot, kind of as online stuff for us. The JD Bates, the guy that runs this or puts this together, makes it really easy. But it'll pull Zillow values, it'll pull rent values, it'll give us kind of the information for a realtor in a local area, shows us the peaks, the highs, the lows. It really kind of gives us a lot of great information on this asset. But notepros.com, pretty easy to use. Basically, you just type in the address or copy the address over individually without the zip code, and then it pulls everything up and allows you to export it into a spreadsheet. Pretty easy to use. I think it charges $29 a month. Is relatively cheap. They actually put it together for us to use for the note business, but it works well for the real estate business too, pulling values, pulling estimates, all that great stuff for everybody. Now, like I said, it's not meant to replace eyes on the property. You always want eyes on the property, but the fact that it gives you a link to the realtor, that's kind of a cool thing as well. Now, one of the other things that I like to use as well for due diligence on things that are far away outside my backyard is I think you need all to understand and use this website, which is free, netraonline.com. It's public records online. And I just click on public records. This takes me over to the statewide. It's the online directory of all statewide organizations. All right. So let's just say I'm buying in Ohio. So click on Ohio. Let's say I'm looking at, let's see here, which county do I want to type about? Let's just look at Cuyahoga County. That's basically where Cleveland is, okay? Cuyahoga County Treasurer, County Fiscal Officer, County Recorder, mapping. So let's click on the Treasurer, Cuyahoga County Treasurer. Now, most of these websites allow you to go in here, view and pay your tax bill, real estate taxes, investment policy, community outreach, all sorts of great things. So here's one of the things I like to do. You can check, view and pay your tax bill. Click here. By parcel number, by owner's last name, by owner's address, by the APN number. Let's just type in Equity Trust. Hit search. See, it gives you a whole thing. There's one. So I can see in this address in Cuyahoga County, the address is 24600 Heartland Avenue in Euclid, Ohio. Okay. See the value here. You can see that they paid their taxes. Total due. It's current taxes are paid, which is awesome. Okay. And this is a great little website to see for a couple things. One, oh, it's actually, let's see if we'll let me do this sales bid. If not, no biggie. Okay. I can go back here to Cuyahoga County, and let's go back one more and take a look at the county recorder or the fiscal officers. Click on there. Owner, we'll type in Quest Trust. So you see here, you can see a couple of people, Anita Chintarasaka, just to do a search, or Keith Warrington Roth IRA. They get a few people around the Quest IRA for the benefit of Tony Watson IRA in Cuyahoga County. So let's look at this one here. This property here. General information. Here's the address. He looked like he funded this with his IRA. 12706 Barfield Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio. We get the first and last name, Tony Watson. Great. Let's see if we've got, let's look at his bill. Sandy Hale. Looks like a vendee. Great stuff on here. So let's view tax bill. And he's right. Tony Watson did a good thing. Is the person with the mailing address to the Quest offices. That's great. Now let's say now you get some information on it. Now you know what's going on with the asset. If it wasn't paid, that would be something else. If you had the address here, type in the address if you want to. Same thing you can do by search by borrower's name or an address. That's what I love about Netra Online, is it works pretty much across the country for that. Now, a couple states that are a little difficult, you can't search by homeowner name, is going to be like on your West Coast, your California, your Arizona, your Oregon. They're not allowing you to search by online by pulling in borrower's name. You got to know the address, which is okay. If you've got a property or a note that you're working through and you have the address, that's a great way to search for it. Okay. So Netra Online, great stuff. NAR, RPR, great stuff. RPR, Realtors Property Source, just phenomenal. Now I get a lot of people like, well, how are you going to find a realtor? Well, there's a couple of things. You can go to realtors.com. Realtor.com is a great place to look, which is pretty cool. All right. It tells you type in the city address, look for that stuff. That's great. I happen to like another thing called activerain.com. Personally got a couple leads off this weekend. ActiveRain.com is a free website. I think there's an error here. But I can go to where you rank at, and it gives you a ranking depending on points and things like that. It gives you a website to kind of be able to add things, take away things like that. But there's one thing about this that I absolutely really love. I like quite a few things about it, but it's the referral network. Okay. Referral network. If you go to your home, there's a free thing. Click on the referral network. Now, if you've got a property in somewhere that you're looking for comps, or you're looking to move an asset, or you're looking to figure some things out here, you can put on here state, province, state, province. It allows you let's just type in, say I got something in Texas here. Oh, not the U.S. Virgin Islands. That would be really great, but no, Texas. Pick the county. Let's say it's in, let's do this. We'll say it's here in Travis County. You're not going to have a problem finding somebody here. But what I'm trying to get at is city. If you don't find any luck in Note Pros or Realtor.com, you can go on here and it'll pull a list of the realtors that you're seeking any type. Agent, loan officer, inspector, appraiser, home stager. That's good. Okay. Agent, broker. All right. Now this is, you're browsing the referrals here. Let's go and say you want to post a referral. And here you go, agent, broker, same thing. Top 5 things that you're looking for there. Type all out, and it'll go out to people in that neck of the woods, which is great. People will respond. I'll offer up either a $50 fee for them, or they'll become my REO agent if we're taking the property back. Whatever it is, you can put it on here. It'll reach out to. Now, let's say I post it and nobody is at home. Okay, nobody reaches out to me. You see how it ranks me down here in the bottom. Like I said, I'm following followers, points. I rank Travis County. Oh, in Austin, I rank 18. I'll click on there. See, I didn't know I ranked that high. Top 18 in Texas for that. Points. Cool. Now, you can see on here all profile types. Here's the all profile types across these entire things. So if I'm looking for somebody in a specific area, let's say I'm looking for a realtor, a broker owner, or commercial real estate agent, a real estate agent US. Okay, I can pick where I want to go. All 50 states. I'll travel it down to an area that I can look at. Now I've got somebody's profile. I can see Donna Harris here. I can click on her. She looks like she's active. Oh, look, realtor mediator, property tax arbitrator. That's somebody who understands the business. She's top finalist. She's done a really good job with her profile. Okay. So what I would do is I would reach out to her. I just hit contact her. It auto-populates my information. Also gives me her phone number. I give a phone call to, and I just send her information. Hey, Donna, boom, boom. Hope you're doing well. Or I'd love to talk with you about an asset or property I have in your neck of the woods. Okay. That's the beauty. It'll give you, especially this works really well in rural areas. Now it gives you an idea who's actually doing stuff in the neck of the woods. And then some small communities, they may not have a realtor. It may be a realtor that covers the entire county. And that way you can identify the people in the county, pick up the phone and make a few phone calls. But this is a great service that I use to find some stuff. Because if somebody's using Active Rain to market, I know they're an active agent. I know they're an active person who's actually using this on a regular basis. So I like Active Rain. Comes in really handy. So that's a thing about Active Rain is it's phenomenal and pretty easy enough to use for everybody out there. Okay. All right. So we talked about Meetup, talked about Note Pros, we talked about Netra Online. We've talked about ActiveRain.com, all great resources to look at. Now, one of the things that also, that's all about property and finding realtors. Now, one of the things I like to look at, too, in the note business side is checking out what's going on with a borrower, okay? I like to check out what's going on with a borrower, trying to see what I can find out about a borrower to see what they're working at. I call it social sleuthing, okay? Social sleuthing. Now I'll jump on whitepages.com. I'll type, Spokio, great another website to use as well. But I use a variety of resources when it comes to jumping online and using different assets, electronic assets to sleuth it. Now, one of the things I always look at, depending on what the age group tells me, and if I do a white pages reverse address search, let's just jump on there real fast and take a look real fast, huh? So let me do this real fast. Okay. So here's, okay, let me share this. Boom. Whitepages.com, log in. Where's my signing up? Sign in. Doesn't cost anything. It's a beautiful thing. So let's say I'm looking to track down, let's say this property outside of an area. I don't have a phone number. I just have an address. Okay. All right. We're going to do a reverse address here. So let's just say 2813 Pioneer Way, Round Rock, Texas. Okay. Let's do that. And I see Catherine Daniel Maybaum. Okay. And you can see Scott Andrew Carson used to live there. Kenneth Blake, Gayla and Blake. These are actually some renters of mine back in the day. But Catherine Daniel Maybaum, 38. I click on her details, see what gives me. I have a phone number. I have different phone numbers for her. I have a landline, which is great. Let's see what other details we got here. Phone number, Southwestern Bell, landline. Yeah, whoopee-doo. But I have the name of the person living there. So let's do this. Catherine Daniel Maybaum. And the first place I like to go is that she's 38. I imagine she's probably working. So I'll jump over to LinkedIn and see if I can't track what this bar is doing. They're working. Okay, search. So I will take the middle name down. Kathy Maybaum. Maybe she doesn't have a LinkedIn profile. Okay, she doesn't have a LinkedIn profile. All right, so let's go over to Facebook then. Let's type on Facebook. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. There's a lot of Tuscaloosa. Let's change it to a city, though. Take a look. Austin, or let's change it to choose a location. We'll type in Round Rock, Texas. Wow, Catherine Danielle Maybaum does not have a Facebook profile. That's kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Gonna make me work there for this. Okay, fine. So she doesn't have a profile. So let's just go over here and do a Google search then. All right, so it doesn't look like she's, well, let's look at all. That's kind of interesting. 600 instant checkmate. Now, maybe it's a, probably the name has changed. I don't think this is Greater Chicago area, but we'll take a look here. Yeah, I don't think this is her. So, but that's the thing, is I will look and track down people on that aspect, or I'll do it now that I've got a phone number on here. The beautiful thing is I could do a different landline search. I could do a cell phone search to see if that pops up. All right. And see and do a search for that. We'll just copy that. We'll go back to Facebook and search there for that number. Search. No, nothing there, which is interesting. We'll go back and search it here as well. Paste, insert. No results found, which is kind of strange. I'm kind of striking out here. All right. This lady doesn't have a Facebook profile, does not have, wait a second here. Oh, that's not fine. Anyway, we'll just type in Round Rock, Texas. Wait, oh, hang on here. That's different. Oh, these are different actresses. That's not who I'm looking for there. Maybe that person doesn't have it on here, which is totally fine. But I want to bet I think the name has changed now that I think about it. Let's go back to white pages here. Let's type in a phone number. paste and search, because people will often keep their phone numbers longer. Registered in Longmont, Colorado. That's interesting. That's not right at all. Anyway, so usually it works a whole lot better than what I'm showing you here, guys. So I like to use white pages to track other things down. You can use Spokio. There are other things that do that you can use to track stuff down, but I like to use this because we use this for social sleuthing. When we have found, when we've tracked down our borrowers, we found they were professors at the University of Columbia, or they're going through changes in a variety of ways, or that they wanted to pay to go to Disney instead of paying their mortgage. Which is all valuable information if you're doing due diligence on an asset. You know, get to know what's going on with your borrower. If they bought a new car, or they had a new event going on. A lot of people share a lot of things going on Facebook and their social media accounts. It's valuable for you to know as well. Now, one of the things I'm doing that I really like to do, especially if you're looking at condos in different areas, I'll use YouTube to do a Google search for a property as well. So that it'll show me, let's just pull something. I don't know if there's anything here or not. Just go to YouTube and I'll search an address. If anything's ever popped up online, Pioneer Way, Round Rock, Texas. And just type that in here. Holly Boone. No, that's not it. Let's try 2813 Little Tree Bend, Cedar Park, Texas. Well, there's other ones that were here in the area. You can see some of the other ones. Right. Okay. The beautiful thing about this is if you do see something, like if I got a condo that I'm looking at, I'm trying to find information out on the complex. Instead of using the unit number, I'll type in the full address and not use the unit number to kind of see what's popped up in the area. Now, it's helpful if the stuff is shown up, obviously, before. It's been listed before. But the thing is, it's not always, you know, what's the best way I'm trying to say it? Of course, if it's not the actual unit number, it's not the actual property. I get that. But it still gives you a layout. Maybe there's photos. You can see what kind of square footage it would look like. You can kind of see also, if it's a current video, really what the property could look like, or kind of what a comparable comp would be, especially if it's higher up or down, higher, you know, lower down. Those are the kind of things that you want to look at. Okay, so let's try this. Let's try 700 Lakaya. Let's see, there's 700. There we go. So here we go. So here's a different Lakaya loop. Here's some different condos that we've owned. Here's another one. So if I'm looking for something here, I can see different ones that are available. That work out pretty well, right? Davenport, Florida. This is a complex that we've owned in. 604, that's what it was. 604 Lakaya Loop. Trying to get at everybody is that using Facebook is a great way. Here you can see what's going on there. So you got now a video for Bahama Bay Resort, which is where we've owned it before. Now I've got an agent. This is 183 views. This course came out 5 years ago.
Okay, here we are, building 2. This is unit 604. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This is an Abaco model. We're going to go inside.
So you can see it gives you a walkthrough, which is really kind of nice, which is phenomenal. Use of video is a really great way to take a look at some stuff like that. So that's, you know, those are kind of what I like to say, some really nice due diligence there, because now you've got a video, now you've got a walkthrough. You really have seen eyes and ears on a property. Yeah, it's 5 years old, or 6 years old on that video, but it's still relevant information. The property is still there, and you have an idea what it's going for. Of course, the numbers you got to update. Hopefully it's in the same condition, which it probably should be based on what a local agent would tell you and local CMA you're pulling. Or I would just call that agent directly, say, hey, it looks like you've had some property in that neck of the woods in the past. Would you mind giving me some information on a new property there? Or, hey, would you help me in the purchase of an asset there or getting something ready to take down? Would you help me out with that? Okay. Does that make sense, everybody? I think it does for everybody. Is what I'm trying to get at is it's a great way to identify people who are going to do some marketing for you. It's also a great way to identify what the asset looks like. It's also a great way to see, get a more of a 360-degree view of the property versus just, versus just an image online or street view. Now, street views are always great to look at, but you got to make sure it's a relevant asset, so a relevant date. So that's why I always like to try to go and see what's going on in the neighborhood. Type in the address, find a local agent that can help you out with it, because a local agent who's listing there may have had multiple offers, and then they may be able to have a buyer ready, willing, and able for you to take down that property if you take something down. Okay, so that's the good thing about using YouTube for due diligence. It's not the let's see here, it was hopefully that makes sense for you. So let's go back and recap. I like using YouTube. Type in an address, see if there's videos. I'll also jump on and just do a search for videos on that asset to see what's going on. Anything in the address. It's pretty simple to do. Of course, I'm not going to, Zillow, Trulia, ePraisal, those are all simple things, but we're going to talk about a little bit more so aspect of things. Like if I want to know what the rent rate is, I'll use Rent-A-Meter to take a look and see what rent looks like in a specific area. It gives me kind of a dial aspect of things. And it's pretty easy to use. Rentameter.com. Now, they do give you a limit on the free version on what you can and how many pulls you can do in a pretty basic area. I mean, it's not going to let you pull hundreds and hundreds of assets, but I think it gives you a dozen. And just type in an address. Let's use that same one, 2813 Pioneer Way, Round Rock, Texas. If you don't know the rent rate, I just go over and type the beds. It's the beds from basically pulling off the Zillow Trulia. So 3 bedrooms to 3.2. And you can see median rent rate, it's $1,595. Average is $1,484 plus or minus 3%. Okay. Some of it might be higher, but the beautiful thing is it gives you this map that you can use for some good stuff. So you see green is going to be below, it's 800, which is south of there. Or I can go up a little bit north here, it's 1632. Okay, I can take it out, or I can take it in. Okay, so what you see here is there's not a lot of rentals in this little complex. You have this stuff up over here, which is nice, which is like Eagles Point, or south of here, which is not as nicer properties. They're older areas. Okay, but the beautiful thing is you can test this stuff. You can see similar homes. Just gives you a rough idea that there's what's in the neck of the woods. So somebody's looking, you're going to be competing with these as your competition. Okay, 1600 down south here. It's going to be the closest one is going to be this one right here, and that's 1735. So that's a good kind of comp for you. All right, but I like that it gives you the game map. I usually will save and print this off, and we use this as just kind of our due diligence to say, hey, we pulled rents. Here's what they kind of look like. You're not going to know exactly till you get there, but at least you have an idea of what you're looking at. So Rent-A-Meter, pretty easy to use. I like it better than I like the Zillow rent report, just because it gives me the numbers here. Zillow's kind of all over the spots, but it's a kind of a nice thing to use for everybody out there. Okay, very nice thing to use. But it's just due diligence. Same thing if I go back and pull the taxes out, I'm going to print that screen. Okay, I'll print that screen to save it in my file folder for due diligence. So I'm not going to print it and really save some paper, but I can save it in a file folder on my desktop or on my computer. Hey, here's this property. So if I ever am going back to it, I get the numbers to take a look at it. Okay. All righty then. Other websites that we'll use, what's another one that we like to use quite a bit? I like Batch Geo. It's a great website to kind of match things or map things in an area. Batchgeo.com. Basically, all I'm doing is copy pasting the spreadsheet cells into it, and it'll map a whole area for me, and I can kind of see where it's located at. I can go on Street Views and kind of take a look at it versus trying to do one at a time. I can drop all 10 or 15 assets in there and pull it back out and pull it back in. So that's a free website too. 200 up to 250 relatively for free. Pretty fast mapping. Sends you a link, and you're rocking and rolling and ready to roll. It also gives you kind of a map. You could do a pretty cool print screen aspect of things to look at. All right. So that's Rentometer, Bash Geo, White Pages, Spokeo, Meetup.com, obviously LinkedIn, YouTube, Googling. You'll often find interesting things about a borrower that you can spend time looking at, tracking down, see if they're actually legit, see what they're doing, see what's going on with an asset, and kind of go from there. So, but that is due diligence. Online due diligence isn't difficult. I did all that from here in Austin in less than an hour. I can track it down a lot of information. It tells me, what the borrower's doing, if they're working. I can see if I find them on LinkedIn, I can see who they work for. A lot of times I find them on Facebook. I can see who they're working for, if they have a job. If I can find out that they're cashier at, say they're cashier at Dollar General. Well, then I know I can find out what a cashier makes at Dollar General. I can call real quickly and see if they're working. All right. There's a lot of things I can do creatively to see what's going on with an asset from far away. And it's all about building a team. People think about meetup groups, realtors. You'll find some great ones, or you find some great rehabs. In a meetup group, you'll often find good recommendations for people. Posting one thing is a valuable thing for you to look at. One thing there, it's a valuable thing because it goes out to everybody at once. It's not just you having one conversation, you having one conversation that goes out to the masses and really helping drive home a lot of great stuff to help, making sure that, you're finding a good deal or you're finding some information on a borrower and going from there. Okay. But that's what I've got for you today. Online due diligence or distant due diligence, very simple. You use some of those great websites. It's free. If you want to jump on a plane, go out and take a look, great. But I think you're going to have more value. You have to work smarter versus working harder and then go from there. So hopefully you all have a great day. Go out, make something happen. And we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.